Today I'm going to show you the Fullwood or Afimilk electromagnets. Now these were made by Afimilk for milk meters. They supplied these milk meters to Fullwood and Afimilk, and they've been around for a long time now. They were one of the earliest milk meters. This is the vessel the electromagnet fits in, you may recognise. Now, some time ago, Afimilk stopped making these electromagnets. They became obsolete, and you ended up having to buy second hand if you could possibly get any, or change your milk meters, and it's expensive to change the milk meters. We are now selling these electromagnets. They are now being made again. So today I'm just going to show you, quickly demonstrate. The electromagnets come with hell of a long lead. It's a 3-core lead, so you've got brown, blue and yellow. Now most systems only use the brown and the blue, so you can cut the yellow off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of this lead off. I give you plenty of lead on these. Trim a bit off, we don't need all that for our installations. Now you've got the nut on here which unscrews. Just unscrew that nut, slide it off the cable. They are very simple to install in your milk meter. All you do is remove the old electromagnet, making a note of where the wires went in your electrical trunking, and then take the old electromagnet out, insert the cable for the new one through the hole at the bottom, and slide that back through. Now a lot of people just put a small smear just around above the thread there of silicone sealant, something like that, just to stop any air getting in. Pop that back through the hole, position the electromagnet over the hole that the valve goes in. Now slide the nut back down the cable. Whoops. Crash, and screw it onto the electromagnet body there. The valve plunger, which goes inside the electromagnet and is pulled up by the electromagnet, these we sell these as well. Both the electromagnet and the valves we sell on eBay, so if you're interested, we ship them all over the place as well. So normally, in normal circumstances, you'd have an assembly tool which would go through the hole here where the valve goes into the electromagnet and hold the electromagnet dead center, and then you just tighten up the nut on the electromagnet to hold it in position. Don't worry if you haven't got an assembly tool, just pop the valve in and just flick it up and down a few times just to make sure it is pretty well central in the milk meter. Hold it upside down, just have a look, just to check. Now the nut on the electromagnet doesn't want to be tightened up too much, it just wants to be nipped up in place. Tighten it with your hands, then get a spanner on it and just give a little twist just to tighten it a little bit. If you tighten it too much, after a period of time it can fracture and just break off. So once you've tightened it, just hold the meter body up and just see if the electromagnet moves up and down freely. Now I've put the valve in, I've pushed the valve up and it's jammed, so I've got to move the electromagnet slightly to one side. Now it's going up and down freely, quite central. I can now get a spanner on that. Holding the electromagnet inside, I can get a spanner on that and just give it a nip up, just to tighten it a little bit more, and then double check. What you can do is, once you've put the electromagnet in and get it running, you can see if you can fill it up with water and see if the water's leaking past the valve. If it is leaking past the valve, you may not have the valve centralised enough, the electromagnet centralised and the valve centralised. Once it's installed, just trim your cable back and connect up back into your connections, and it's as simple as that. So the electromagnets being made again, freely available. We sell them on eBay. and the valves, so there's no problem there. Keep these old milk meters going. No need to buy a new milk meter. Thank you for looking. Cheers.